Welcome to Richard Suttmeyer's 4 and 4. 4 blips on my radar screen presented in 4 minutes or less. My first blip looks at the daily charts for the NASDAQ and SOX, as today is Tech Tuesday. The NASDAQ is below 50-day and 200-day simple moving averages at 2448 and 2506, which indicates risk to monthly support at 2314. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index, the SOX, is also below 50-day and 200-day simple moving averages at 396.60 and 405.37. My quarterly pivot is support at 372.84. My second blip looks at the daily charts for Apple and Google. The daily chart for Apple shows that below the 50-day simple moving average at 177.77 is risk to the 200-day simple moving average at 162.26. Apple ended Monday between my semi-annual pivot at 170.97 and my quarterly pivot at 175.63. Google is also below 50-day and 200-day simple moving averages at 557.10 and 575.98. Under my quarterly pivots at 552.20 and 588.28 is risk to the April 18th low of 524.77. My third blip reviews some accounting tricks I read about that are being used by community and regional banks. Wells Fargo, with $83.5 billion in home equity loans, is said to be lengthening the time from 120 days in arrears to 180 days before declaring them non-current. I have heard that some community banks are keeping construction and development loans current by paying themselves from open commitments to builders and developers. Some publicly traded banks with subsidiaries outside the public company are said to be moving bad loans off the books, a la Enron. The Federal Reserve will soon have to price the Bear Stearns trash they put on their books on March 17th. From what I understand, if they are held to maturity, no write-downs are required. My fourth blip looks at 3 categories of loans that are starting to decline according to the FDIC quarterly banking profile for the first quarter of 2008. 1 to 4 family residential mortgages held on the books of FDIC insured institutions dropped 1.2% sequentially in Q1 '08 to $2.214 trillion from $2.241 trillion. These are most likely write-downs or modifications. Loans to individuals declined 0.95% to $1.048 trillion from $1.057 trillion. I'm not sure of all the types of loans in this category, but I will be tracking it. Credit card debt on the books of FDIC banks declined 8.3% sequentially to $387 billion from $422 billion. This is most likely the sale of receivables to firms that try to collect on bad debt that banks have given up on. The decline in consumer loans is a sign that the great credit crunch is becoming more difficult. Between the fourth quarter of 1988 and the fourth quarter of 1992, the total assets among the FDIC insured institutions declined 4.2%. In current dollars, this would be $560 billion. I think it'll be much worse than that. When total assets start to decline, as I expect they will in 2009, that's when the great credit crunch brings on recession, and year-over-year GDP for 2009 will be below that for 2008 for the first time since 1948-1949. If you have any comments or questions, shoot me an email, gmcreports@aol.com. That's today's 4 and 4. Enjoy your day.